Hello, my name is Sebastian. Welcome to this video. And today I have in this interview Michael from BCIT, and he's gonna tell us about the programs we have in this institution here in Canada, know the costs, and how people who want to come to Canada as a student, they can know this information. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Hi, Sebastian. I'm great. Thanks. How are you doing?
Perfect. Thank you. Let me know about where is this institution and tell us about BCIT programs.
Sure. Great. Thank you.
The British Columbia Institute of Technology, BCIT, is located in British Columbia, which is the province to the very west of Canada. So we're right on the Pacific Ocean. We have mountains to the north and to the east, and of course the beautiful Pacific Ocean to the west. We're very south in the province, so it's only about a 20-minute drive to the US border. And it's a pretty big city. We have about 2.5 million people here, and about 40% of the population is, we were born in another country. I was born in Scotland. And again, about 40% of us are from somewhere else. So it's a very multicultural, very multi-ethnic province.
So is the college located in Vancouver, or is another name of the city? I don't know if it...
So we have 5 campuses.
Okay.
And we have one in the downtown area. And then we have 4 other campuses all around. You can go by bus or SkyTrain to any of the other campuses in about 20 to 30 minutes. So we're all the campuses are within the greater Vancouver area.
So what about the rain? Like most people care about how much rain you get in Vancouver, how bad it is.
In the summer, it's like anywhere else. You'll get rain occasionally. We get very long, dry periods in the summer, especially, where sometimes we don't get rain for 30, 40 days. And then in the fall, you'll start to get more rain. In the winter, you'll get more rain. The thing is, we don't get a lot of snow.
Okay.
We'll get a little bit of snow sometimes, and we'll always get snow in the mountains. So as we say here, you can golf in the morning and ski in the evening in Vancouver. And the mountains are only about a 20-minute drive away. So I don't know. I don't find the rain problematic because you don't have to shovel rain.
I know.
It's much better than snow, I'll tell you. And I lived in Toronto before, so I know what it's like to get a lot of snow. And it's nice in Vancouver not to get that much snow.
So in that case, is really good, but because I mean, like I studied in Guelph in Ontario, and during the winter there are some days with the snowstorms, and they cancel. And if you have, for example, midterm exam, so then everything is gonna change. So and then like 1-2 feet of snow is not that fun. when you are working or when you are studying, it's not that fun.
No.
So I think it's a good point in this case that the college is located in Vancouver, and then you don't have that much snow as other parts of Canada.
Yeah, the first day it snows, the first week it snows in Ontario, it's nice. But then after that, you have to live with snow for 3-4 months. It's not so nice anymore.
Then in this case, you just need an umbrella and keep your life.
And it doesn't rain heavy rain here. So, sometimes it'll be just mist coming down, and we don't even use an umbrella. You don't really get that wet.
So I know you're gonna talk about the programs, but all the programs are in all campuses, or there are different programs in each campus?
Yeah, different programs in different campuses. So we have an Aerospace Campus, which is unbelievable campus. It's like walking into an airport, and it's only about 10 years old, and it was developed, I think it was an $80 million building at the time. Today, it would be probably $150 million to build this campus. But you only study aerospace there. They only do aerospace programs like aircraft maintenance engineering, airport operations, gas turbine engines. It's only related to helicopters and airplanes and the business of airports. The marine campus is on the water on the north shore of the of Vancouver, and there you only do marine programs. But in Burnaby, in the main campus, it's the biggest campus, you would do all the engineering, all the business, all the graphics programs. The computing programs are all in the downtown campus. So really, if you're going to study a program, you're only going to go to one of the campuses. You don't have to be going from one campus to another. BCIT was founded in 1964, so it's a little bit older than I am. And it is one of Canada's largest post-secondary institutions. We have between 48 and 50,000 students enrolled annually. Over 6,500 students are international. So we have a lot of services. We have a lot of students coming from many different countries, 115, 116 different countries. And to date, we have graduated, I think, over 190,000 graduates. And BCIT is different. You know, we're an institute of technology. So we're not quite a college. We're not quite a university. We're something in between. So first of all the classes are small. So if you're doing a program in automotive or aircraft maintenance, your class will only be 16 or 17 students. If you're in a school of business, a business program like marketing or accounting, finance, business management, your classes could be as high as 28. That's the maximum you'll ever see in a class at BCIT is 28 students. And I like to say, you know, in the engineering programs where you're working with heavy machinery, the classes are smaller because one teacher can only watch a smaller number of students, and that's why it's a very safe environment. We have, in the Aerospace Campus, we've never had an accident. It's a perfect record. In a business program, there's no danger, right? You're working with paper and computers, so the worst thing that can happen, maybe you'll get a paper cut or you'll break your nail or something. So nothing too dangerous. So we can have somewhat bigger classes, but they're still not too big. Another thing that makes us very different from most schools, the hands-on learning. So whatever you study at BCIT, you will be in the classroom, you'll learn the theory, but then you have to practice. So we teach you and we make you practice. So again, a good example is the aircraft maintenance program, where in the morning, the students are in a classroom for 3 hours. We teach them the theory. Then in the afternoon, they put on their blue coveralls and they're working on the airplanes and the helicopters for 3 hours. So it's 50-50 theory and practice. It's very important. When you come out of BCIT, it's not just theory that you have the skills also. Another thing that sets us apart, our instructors. So all the faculty at BCIT, they must have worked in their industry. You cannot teach at BCIT if you went to university for 12 years, you got your PhD. You can't come to teach unless you went to work in your industry. So when you're learning from someone at BCIT, you know that they are teaching you not just the subject, but what it's like to work in that industry. And that really helps our students. When they go out to look for jobs, they find jobs very quickly and they know what to expect in their industry. Another thing that's really important, and this is something that a lot of people don't understand, so I'm going to explain it well. Program advisory committees. So like, you know, we have a program in architecture, for example, or mechanical engineering, or computing, even more important. So we all know that computing it changes so quickly, right? From one year to the next, there's new software, new hardware that comes out. And how does a university stay connected to the changes that are happening in the industry? Well, BCIT has program advisory committees. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to show you what that means. So in the chemical environmental tech program, you can see all the people on the list here. This is the advisory committee. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. And if you look at the companies they come from, they're all different companies around, they're from Vancouver, but they're different kinds of companies. And these are the companies that would hire our graduates. But we invite these people to come to BCIT twice a year to meet with our faculty, to talk about what is changing in that industry. And then our faculty will change our curriculum to adjust to the needs of the industry. So when you graduate from BCIT, you know that what you have studied is not 5 or 10 years old. We are keeping up with the changes that are happening in industry. So you're learning what industry wants you to know, and that's why you get a job, because you have current knowledge and current skills. So those are the things that make BCIT really unique. I don't know any other institution that does all of these things to keep to make sure that our students, when they graduate, that they will find a job.
The world has always moved in unexpected ways. It's constantly shifting and evolving. You can try waiting for it to stop, or you can jump in and start shaping your future. You can still dream. You can still learn. You can still succeed. BCIT, education for a complex world.
If you take a 2-year program at BCIT and you get a diploma, 91% of our graduates will find a job within the first 6 months. Many of our students find a job even before they graduate. But this is from a 2-year diploma.
Okay.
Now, if you finish with a bachelor degree, 98% of our students will find a job within the first 6 months. I think the number 91 and 98 is important to understand, because many of the students who do a diploma don't go look for a job right away. They go and finish the bachelor degree. So you can do a 2-year diploma in computing and you can go get a job. 91% of our students will find a job. But then some of the students will continue for 2 more years and finish their bachelor degree. And then their chance of finding a job is even higher. And if you're wondering what kind of income you can expect, well, the average Canadian median income is about $27,600. If you're graduating from BCIT, your average or your median annual income will be $70,000. It may be less, it may be more, but the average is about $70,000. You do a 2-year diploma, you've got all the skills to go get your first job as a computer programmer or an IT specialist. So if you do a 2-year program at BCIT, you will get the maximum postgraduate work permit. So that's 3 years postgraduate work permit. And that's from a 2-year program. If you do a 3-year or 4-year program, still the maximum postgraduate work permit you will get is a 3-year.
Okay.
So the best value is the 2-year diploma. Then you go get a job. So you're working, and you can take 1 or 2 classes to complete your bachelor degree, and you have up to 7 years to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to rush.
Yeah.
But it's a great option to be able to do the degree in the part-time mode. This is our Aerospace Campus. Am I still sharing my screen, Sebastian?
Yes.
Okay, good. This is our Aerospace Campus. So you'll see,
Wow.
yeah, it's phenomenal. I love going to this campus. There are 35 or 36 different helicopters and airplanes. There's a 737 jet. There's a Bombardier CJ1000. There's a Sikorsky helicopter. And what you see now is only the hangar. So all of the classrooms, all of the shops, they're off to the side. They're in a kind of a separate building. Well, it's connected, but the hangar is almost like a building by itself. But you go through the door and then you're into the labs and the shops and the classrooms. When you're studying in a program at BCIT, you are in a cohort. That means that you are studying with all the other students who started the program at the same time. So in aircraft maintenance, like I said earlier, there's a maximum of 17 students, and you would do the whole program with those 17 students. So the students become very close. You make great friendships. If you're in a bigger program like accounting, there are 250 students in that program. Still, you'll be in a class of 28, but you might be in classes with different students at different times. So you'll have a bigger network of friends. But the idea of a cohort is everybody starts together, everybody finishes together. So you all do the same courses from September to December. Then from January to May, you all take the same courses. You don't pick your courses at BCIT. In the full-time programs, the curriculum is fixed. And so you start, we give you the schedule, and you don't have to pick your courses. That's how we make sure that when you graduate, you know everything that you need to know to get your job. This gives you an example of how the program is broken up into 4 different semesters, or what we call levels. So in international business management, a very popular program with international students, of course, global supply chain, there are 2 options. This one is global supply chain. So in the first semester, level 1, students will do 7 courses. So it's a heavy workload, actually. 7 courses. And then in level 2, so that's January till May, that's a 20-week semester, you're doing 9 or 10 courses. And then you have the summer off. And remember, in the summer, when you're studying full-time in Canada, you can work 20 hours a week during the semester, and you can work full-time in between semesters. So June, July, August, you can be working full-time. But then you come back in September, you do level 3, and again, it's 7 or 8 courses. And then level 4, again, 9 or 10 courses. In the end, you do about 120 credits. So it's a very intensive learning model at BCIT. 120 credits is like a bachelor degree, 4 years of study in most universities. But again, that's why BCIT graduates find jobs very quickly, because they've just studied so much. If you look at all the courses here, they're all related to business. There are no general education courses, and that's why we call it intensive study for a complex world. So just to go back over the education model a little bit, we start with industry. So industry tells us what they need. They need people who can do this, 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 this. So we train students with those skills. And it's, again, not just theory, it's applied education. So you're getting hands-on learning, you're developing skills, and that's why when you graduate, you are job ready, and why you can expect high employment outcomes. The focus is on training people for their careers. Maybe I can talk a little bit about the schools at BCIT. So there are 6 different schools at BCIT: business and media, construction environment, health sciences, School of Energy, transportation, and then computing and academic studies. And to give you a sense, there's about 300 programs, 350 programs. Only about 150 are available to international students, but that's still a lot. The credentials at BCIT, so you can do a 1-year certificate or a 2-year diploma. There are some advanced diplomas, but we have 4-year bachelor degrees, and then we have some master's degrees as well, like masters in building engineering, building science,
So
Um,
in that case, for example, for each one of those study levels, what is the English level they need? For example, for a diploma or for a bachelor degree. In this case, for international students.
mhm. Okay, so the English requirements are a little bit, they depend on the program,
Mm-hmm.
but most programs require IELTS 6.5 or TOEFL 86. We accept the Canadian assessment academic English language test, the CALE,
Mm-hmm.
and you need a 70 with a 60, no less than a 60. And then we also accept the Pearson test of English. Right now, we also accept the Duolingo. Like I said, most programs require these scores, but then there are some that require a higher score, like an IELTS 7, a TOEFL 91.
Okay.
And the reason for that is they're just much more difficult programs.
No, for sure. A master degree,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
Or even programs like is it marketing management, marketing communications, or business
Okay.
management? They really expect the students to have a high level of English.
Okay.
And BCIT, we have our own English program, the International Student Entry Program. But then we also have two partnerships with private ESL schools in the Vancouver area. Those schools are VGC International College and Kaplan International. So if a student goes to either of those schools and finishes the program there, then then they have met the English requirement for BCIT. The same as if they did our program or one of the tests, they don't need to take any other tests if they pass those programs. Well, actually, let me go back and show you some of the programs available. So in the School of Business and Media, we have all the business programs like accounting and financial planning, business operations, finance, general insurance and risk management is a very interesting program. Again, the insurance companies in BC and across Canada, they really love the BCIT graduates because it's hard to find people who are trained in this very specific field. But we give the students, skills training in the insurance industry. And so instead of hiring general business graduates, they love to hire the students who come out of our general insurance and risk management program.
Perfect. Are these diplomas or?
Yes. Most of these are diplomas. There's a Bachelor of Business Administration, a BBA. There's also a Bachelor of Technology in Accounting. But all of the other programs here are diplomas. Although on the graphics side here on the other side, there is a Master of Digital Media. But this is a program that we partner with 3 other universities, UBC, Simon Fraser University, and Emily Carr University. So when you get a master's from this program, you have 4 universities on your master's degree. It looks very cool. We have great digital arts programs, 3D modeling, art, animation, digital design and development, graphic communication, tech. There's also new media and web development I didn't mention here. And then, of course, we have a broadcast center. So students can study television or radio or online journalism. Again, 2-year programs. You finish these, you get a job in the television industry or radio or any of the journalist kind of jobs that are out there, like online journalism is a big thing these days. In our School of Computing and Academic Studies, I think I mentioned before, the computer information technology, computer systems technology diplomas are 2 years, and then you can go and continue on for another 2 years to do the bachelor's, and you specialize in games development or network security applications. It's a great, and you can do those part-time as well. Then there's a new program called Full Stack Web Development and a couple of other professional tech programs like Network Administration, Security Professional, and Computer Information Systems Administration. These are all very intensive programs. The computer industry in Canada right now is booming. So I'm sure 98 to 100% of our students are getting jobs right out of BCIT. What we've been told is that BCIT and all the other universities are not producing enough graduates for the needs of industry. Construction and let me say one more thing about computing and the computing programs. They're very competitive. So you only need English and math to get into these programs. We're not looking at your overall GPA. We're looking at your high school math and your English test or your English program. So the higher your scores, the better chance you have to get into these programs.
Okay, so I have a question there. So, for example, most people from Latin America, probably they already have their bachelor degree. So, if they want to get into the diploma, do they need their bachelor degrees transcripts or high school transcripts? Because nowadays, if they already graduated from high school 10 or 20 years ago, it's not that easy to get those transcripts. So, in that case,
for most programs, they will require English and math, and we will need to see some kind of a math score. So if the student did a math class in university, that's fine. We can accept that math. But if there's no math in the university transcripts, then they would need to go back and find their high school transcripts. Some programs, like when we start getting into construction in the environment, like architectural science, building engineering, you'll need math and physics and chemistry. And they're always high school scores, but we would accept university if the student had them in university. What you mentioned, Sebastian, about students having a degree already and then coming to do a diploma at BCIT, that is so common, even with Canadian students. 70% of our students already have a degree. They went to a university, they did a 4-year degree, but they didn't get skill training. So finding a job is not so easy for them. And so they come to BCIT to do a 2-year diploma because this is what is going to get them a job. So it seems backwards because you do a degree first and then a bachelor and then a diploma. It seems backwards, but actually it's not. Because a lot of students, when they finish high school, they don't really know what they want to do. So they go and do a general education at a university, and it's good for them. It gives them a better understanding of how to study at a higher level. And so after doing the general education, then they come to BCIT for a very focused training in a field where they can apply for 5, 10 different kinds of jobs. And they have very specific training for those jobs. So, a lot of students think you do a bachelor and then you do a master's. But I don't think that's a good idea usually, because if you do a bachelor and then you have no work experience, you go and do a master's, you still don't have any work experience. But now you have a higher level of education, and so you expect to get a higher paying job. But it's hard to find a job when you have no, practical experience. So that's why the 4-year bachelor and then the 2-year diploma at BCIT, that's a good model. Unless you come directly to BCIT out of high school, then you can skip the 4-year degree and just go into the diploma and then the degree after. So again, in construction and the environment, we have architectural science, we have building engineering, civil engineering, construction management. There are environmental, ecological programs, interior design. There's even a mining and mineral resource engineering program. And actually, a lot of students in Latin America like the mineral exploration program at BCIT because mining is still a very big industry in Latin America. In our School of Energy, this is a very popular school. These programs get full very quickly. Chemical environmental technology, electrical computer engineering technology, electrical engineering, industrial network cybersecurity, very cool program. And then we have mechanical engineering and mechatronics and robotics. So Electrical and computer engineering technology is the 2-year diploma. Electrical engineering is
It's a
the
degree,
bachelor degree.
bachelor
Yep.
degree. Yeah.
Yeah. So you do 2 years in electrical computer engineering and then 2 more years in electrical engineering. Same thing with mechanical engineering. It's 2 plus 2. Mechatronics and robotics is a 2-year diploma. And when you finish that, if you want the degree, you go into the electrical engineering degree. Health sciences, not a lot of programs are available. The 3 diplomas are the biomedical engineering, food technology, occupational health and safety. Those are diplomas, and the other programs are the degrees. But nursing and a lot of the other programs, they're just not available for international students because we have to prepare enough Canadian students to work in the hospitals and clinics. And so we just don't have the capacity to teach beyond that. And then in transportation, there's aircraft maintenance engineering. And there are 2 programs. One is maintenance and one is electronics or avionics. Very amazing programs, really. And then airport operations is the business of airports. So if you don't really want to get your hands dirty, but you like the idea of working in an airport, then airport operations basically teaches you how to manage any part of an airport. About the admissions requirements, so when you go to a program page at BCIT, you'll see on the right side the program entry. You click on that and it'll show you what you need to apply to the program. So some programs are competitive entry, which means there's a start date. We start accepting applications on October 1st, and then we stop accepting on April 30th. And then the faculty will choose the best students for the program. So my team, I have a team of admissions officers. They will receive the application, and if the student meets all the minimum requirements, then they will be sent to the department for review. And like I said, the faculty will choose the students. What do you need for biomedical? Well, you need English. Again, IELTS 6.5, this is the minimum. You need math from grade 12 with a 73% average. Chemistry, either grade 11 or 12. And physics, grade 12, with a 73% average. So this is a pretty competitive program, actually. But if you look at a business program, you don't need physics or chemistry, you need math, but it's a lower level of math, only a 67% at grade 11. And then English, again, is 6.5 IELTS, TOEFL 86.
So in that case, with the IELTS, it is the academic version or the general version could be?
Always the academic.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. You can't take the general test of English. That's only for immigration purposes. But so this program is not competitive entry. It's first come, first serve. So we start accepting applications on October 1st, as we see here. We continue to fill the program until it is full, and then we will start a small wait list in case anybody drops out. So if you apply on October 1st or November, December, usually there are still seats in most of the programs, but by January, February, most of the programs are starting to get full. So from the homepage at bcit.ca, you would scroll down to where it says international students. Okay, so under program requirements and how to apply, you'll see tuition and fees. And then we're looking at full-time technology programs, and you'll get a spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet will tell you the name of the program on the side, and then the total per term, not including the mandatory UPass fee. So you can see most of the programs are $10,000 per year.
These prices are already for international students.
Yeah, these
right?
are the international student fees. And again, that's per year for 2 years. So it's actually probably one of the best value propositions that you'll find in post-secondary education. There's a few programs that are a little bit more expensive, like biomedical engineering. It's $12,000 per year, so a couple of thousand more.
So this is after taxes.
Yeah, I think that should be the total.
The total, okay.
The only extra charge will be the U pass for students' bus passes, and you get a reduced rate through BCIT. Most of the public post-secondary institutions offer the U pass, and it's good to have. Gets you all around the city.
What options do you have for housing? In this case, for international students?
We have residence. So it's called the McKenna residence, and it's not enough. You know, we have a lot of students at BCIT, and we need more housing. Able to see this?
No, I see. Yep.
Okay. So the McKenna residence, and you can see the email address or the URL here. You can see in the background pictures, you see those kind of buildings. Those are the residents, and in each building, we fit 12 students. 6 upstairs, 6 downstairs. You have your own bedroom, but you share the bathrooms and showers. There's a common kitchen and living room, and they're very comfortable. We're in the planning process now to build a new dormitory that will house 500 students, and that will probably happen in 2 or 3 years. The fee for staying in our residence, I think it's about $650 or $700 now. It might have gone up. It doesn't include your food, of course, so you have to buy your own food. So if you don't stay in the McKenna residence, then you would either stay in a homestay where you live with a family, and the price I think is $895 or about $900 now for that. But that includes all your food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So really, the cost is the same if you stay in the dormitory at BCIT or in a homestay. There's a link on our website that will provide you with options for renting.
All programs, I mean, like diplomas, they have the option to have the postgraduate work permit?
The minimum program length, I believe, is 8 or 10 months. I can't recall now. I think it's 8 months. So as long as your program is 8 months, you can apply for a postgraduate work permit. But again, I think if you do a 1-year program, you get a 1-year postgraduate work permit. It doesn't give you a lot of time to get much experience. And if you're thinking of even immigrating to Canada, if you can stay and work for 3 years after studying for 2, then immigration is much easier to achieve. And again, I think if you're thinking of doing a bachelor degree and you do a 2-year diploma first, what I would advise, you do the 2-year diploma, you go get a job, you save up some money, and you become a permanent resident. Then when you come back to do the degree, you pay the rate of the Canadian students.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because now you're a permanent resident, so it's
for sure.
Do
you pay as local? Yeah.
Yeah, you pay 30% the cost, right? I mean, it makes sense because if you've been working, you've been paying taxes, and
for sure,
a lot of our education in Canada is subsidized by tax dollars. So we pay taxes, and some of that goes towards our children's education.
What about if it's I don't know, if it's a couple and they have a kid? So is there an option for childcare at this institution, or do you have any kind of partnership where they can have their kids?
Actually, at BCIT we have a student association. It's like a student union. And they have on campus a childcare center.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so it's fantastic actually, and it's a very nice one. So you would have to get on the wait list to get your child in there, but it's definitely a good option for students. And if you have children who are ready for school, elementary or secondary school, then as long as you're studying in a full-time credential program, it doesn't count if you're studying English, But if you're studying one of our diploma programs, then
Okay.
your children's education, they can go to our elementary or high schools,
Okay.
and you don't have to pay
So
for that.
it is covered by the, I mean, I don't know, the province probably. If somebody that's watching this video and they want to know more about the programs in BCIT, so then you can just leave your email here, and then I can send you how you can connect with the person who is the immigration consultant, and they can guide you how to connect with the institution. And then if you want to get involved in one program, then they will guide you, because the thing is that if you want to migrate, it's better to be guided by the immigration consultant, and then you can connect with the specific program that is good for you because of your profile. So yeah, thank you so much, Michael, for this interview. And
My
then
pleasure.
if you have questions, just leave your questions here below the video, and then we can have another session with Michael later on. And then thank you so much for seeing this video. Bye bye.